Today I'm going to show you how to make Bootstrap 4 themes by building Bootstrap from source. It's a lot easier than it sounds because I've prepared something that I call the theme kit that will help you get started. In this video I'm going to show you how it works. You can find the theme kit along with a step-by-step guide if you go to hackerthemes.com/kit. So this is the theme kit open in my code editor, and it consists of three main parts. A set of Sass files that make our custom version of Bootstrap, a build script made with Gulp that turns the Sass files into CSS, and an HTML file that contains the major Bootstrap components for testing. Okay, I have opened a couple of files here in my editor. Custom styles, where I can add my own styles, custom variables, where I can modify the Bootstrap variables, and Bootstrap's own variables file to look up all of the variables that are available to me for overriding. This file is located in the Node Modules folder. In my terminal, I'm running gulp watch. With this command, the build script is gonna monitor my Sass files for changes, and it will trigger the build each time I make a change. In my browser, I'm looking at the index.html file, which contains some Bootstrap components for testing. At this point, this is just plain vanilla Bootstrap. I'm also using a Chrome plugin called LivePage, which automatically reloads the page when I make changes. Okay, so let's change something. I'm gonna overwrite the primary color. I can do this by going into my custom variables file and adding the variables that I like to overwrite. You can see the build is triggered instantly, and the changes show up in the browser after about 1 second. I've already prepared some example variables here. I'm gonna uncomment them now. You'll see how these components gradually change in appearance. By the way, this is Visual Studio Code, and it has this very nice color picker which allows me to play around with the colors very easily. One very cool thing about Bootstrap 4 is that it generates a lot of components from maps. Let's take this theme colors map here, which defines all the color names that you know and love. I can extend this map simply by defining it in my custom variables file. This will cause a whole set of new components to be generated by Bootstrap that go by the name of cool. If I open my HTML file, I can add a button using the class btnCool. Likewise, I can also add an alert using the class alertCool, and so on. You can see these new components here appearing at the top of my page in the browser. Okay, that's enough of the variables. One more thing I want to show you is the custom styles file. I can add my own styles here, and I can override any Bootstrap styles manually, just like you would in a custom CSS file that you include on your site after Bootstrap. The cool thing about this though is that I have all the Bootstrap Sass mixins, functions and variables available. So for example, I can use their alert variant mixin to create a totally customized alert. You can find this and all the other mixins under Node Modules/Bootstrap in the mixins folder. If I use this new alert in my HTML file, you see I have a completely custom alert here. In this last example, I simply loop over all the theme colors and I add a shadow to each alert variant using a reduced version of that theme color. I'm using this function here called themeColorLevel to soften the original theme color. This function is also provided by Bootstrap. You can see all the alerts now have a shadow that corresponds to their color. Okay, my basic theme is done. Of course, you've got a lot more options here with the variables and mixins, but this is the basic setup and workflow that I use. I can now simply take this mytheme.css file here and use it instead of Bootstrap. And because it essentially is Bootstrap, I can use it just like I would use Bootstrap. It looks different, but it works the same. I hope you enjoyed this short introduction into customizing Bootstrap 4. You can find some free and open source themes that I already made with these techniques on hackerthemes.com. If you end up making your own themes, I'd be happy to hear about them. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.